In this lesson, you'll learn how to add vital signs to Next-Gen Enterprise EHR from Clinical Reconciliation. We're currently viewing Clinical Reconciliation from James Williford's chart. The system will set the vital signs to a status of Add in Import view when no match is found. This is determined based on the date and time. If for some reason the date and time are not entered, it will use the vital signs values. In the EHR section, you have the option to keep, resolve, or delete vital signs. You can only make updates if the encounter is unlocked. Note that the system will automatically convert English and metric values into the imported data if any are missing. This entry was entered in error, so let's delete it. Click the action field. Click the drop-down arrow. Select Delete. We want to import these vital signs, so we'll leave the action as is. These will be located in James's vital signs history. If no encounter exists for the vital signs date, a new encounter will be created. If you want to manually match or unmatch vital signs, you'd select the item and click here. Click Confirm. A message displays stating that you can view the changes on the Reconciliation History tab. Click OK. Let's take a look at the changes in James's chart. Click Close. On the History toolbar, click the SOAP template. Vital signs have been imported from the CDA and are shown here. You should now know how to reconcile vital signs using Clinical Reconciliation. In this lesson, you'll learn how to add family history data to Next-Gen Enterprise EHR from Clinical Reconciliation. We're currently viewing Clinical Reconciliation from James Williford's chart. Because of concerns about codes being updated incorrectly and impacting performance measure reporting, updates to family history won't be permitted. You can add data from Clinical Reconciliation, but you can't modify already existing data. The system will set family history to a status of Add in Import view when no match is found based on the diagnosis SNOMED code, relationship description, deceased indicator, and the name of the person. Coronary artery disease is set to ignore because it is matched with an item that was already in James's chart. The match icon displays here. Alcoholism did not match because the information is incorrect in the chart. Let's fix this by replacing it. In the Import section, click the Action field. Click the drop-down arrow. Click Replace. At the top of the Select Existing window is the Data to Match grid, and the bottom grid displays the existing EHR data for you to select from. Click Alcoholism. Click OK. James states that the rest of the information is correct, so we'll leave these as Add. We're all done here, so let's import and add the data to the KBM demographics templates. Click Confirm. A message displays stating you can view the changes on the Reconciliation History tab. Click OK. To see the changes in the chart, click Close. Click the Histories template. You can see the added family history data here. You should now know how to reconcile family history data using Clinical Reconciliation in Next-Gen Enterprise EHR. In this lesson, you'll learn how to add social history data to Next-Gen Enterprise EHR from Clinical Reconciliation. At this time, only smoking status, social history observation, and tobacco use can be reconciled, which will only import if details are entered. For example, when entering a patient's alcohol intake, the alcohol type or amount of intake must be entered. We're currently viewing Clinical Reconciliation from James Williford's chart. In the EHR grid, you have the option to keep, resolve, or delete data. Updates to social history data will not be permitted on locked encounters. In the Import grid, all recent data will have a default action of Add if a match is not found. The system will set other data to a default action of ignore, so the most current information doesn't get overridden with older data. To make sure this doesn't happen, the system will give a warning message when the action made will result in updating the existing social history. James states he has never smoked before, but in the EHR grid, his status is unknown. Let's replace this. Click the action field. Click the drop-down arrow. Click Replace. Let's click Caffeine by mistake. Click here. Click OK. An error message displays. You can only match similar data. This is determined based on the diagnosis SNOMED code. The system will also assist in matching records when descriptions are not the same. For example, smoking status versus heavy tobacco smoker. Click OK. Now click the smoking status. Click OK. In the EHR section, the smoking status is set to delete, and in the import section, it is now set to replace. To import and add the data in the medical record templates, click Confirm. A message displays stating you can view the changes on the Reconciliation History tab. Click OK. Let's take a look at the changes in James's chart. Click Close. Click the Histories template. You can see the tobacco status here. You should now know how to reconcile social history data using clinical reconciliation in NextGen Enterprise EHR. In this lesson, you'll learn how to add implantable devices to NextGen Enterprise EHR from clinical reconciliation. We're currently viewing clinical reconciliation from James Wilford's chart. On this tab, the import section data will default to add for new records or records without a match based on the Universal Device Identifier, or UDI. If no UDI value is present on the incoming data, the data will need to be manually matched based on the device identifier and other data fields. In the EHR section, you have the option to keep, resolve, or delete data. You can only make updates if the encounter is unlocked. This device isn't in James's chart, so we'll leave the action as add. This device matched with one that was already in James's chart. Let's take a look at some of the details. Click here. Note you must reconcile procedures before reconciling implantable devices. If you don't reconcile procedures first, you'll have no information in this column. Also, each implantable device can only be linked to one procedure, but a procedure can be linked to one or more devices. Since this device is linked to a procedure and the one in the chart is not, let's replace it. To scroll, click here. Click the action field. Click the drop-down arrow. Select Replace. At the top of the Select Existing window is the Data to Match grid, and the bottom grid displays the existing EHR data for you to select from. The top grid displays the device that's linked to a procedure, and the unlinked device is displayed as the EHR data that'll be replaced. Click OK. The status of the device has been changed to delete in the EHR grid and to replace in the import grid. To import and add the data to the procedure module, click Confirm. A message displays stating you can view the changes on the Reconciliation History tab. If you didn't reconcile procedures yet and an implantable device is linked to one, you will get a warning message stating that a device has a linked procedure. It will then give you the option to cancel or to import reconciliation. Click OK. Let's take a look at the changes in James's chart. Click Close. Click the Procedures button. Click Implantable Devices. The device that we just imported displays. To view more details, click here. The associated procedure displays here. The Implantable Devices tab of Clinical Reconciliation can be accessed by clicking the Reconcile button. And that's it. You should now know how to reconcile implantable devices using clinical reconciliation.